We live in a time where information about awakening is absolutely everywhere. You can read about consciousness, you could read about trauma healing, manifestation, and spiritual truth all day long. But here's the real question. If we know so much, why are so few people actually embodying it? So we're going to talk about the gap between knowing the truth and becoming the truth. Because embodiment is where spirituality stops being a theory and it starts becoming a reality. And you will feel it, you will experience it, you will know it. Reading about awakening and embodying it are two completely different worlds. And I know that most people who are reading about it because they're trying to understand. They're trying to get something out of it. They are seeking the truth. But when they hear the truth and they know it and they know, oh, I know that this is the truth. Why is it so hard to embody? I am going to tell you why. It is because we cannot live in two worlds at one time. We can't live in the old world. We can't carry it forward with us. We have to choose. We have to choose, and so often we will make excuses as to why we need to keep a little bit of the old stuff because, some of that still applies, right, man? And it doesn't. It just simply doesn't. If we have things within us that we are emitting from us that are anything other than love, it's not the way. And I know that people will say, no, you have to embrace it all and you have to all this. And it's because they don't understand it. And it is blatantly obvious to me because you can not lie with your energy. You can lie with your mouth all day long, but your energy will not lie. And so if people say, oh, I understand this and I know it, but yet they are still passing judgment and criticism, if they still have hate in their heart, if they still don't like people, certain people, any person, any people, they're not embodying Christ consciousness. They might have read about it, they might understand it theoretically, but they're not living it. And this becomes a serious problem because it tends to be these people who have all these followers, have all this clout, are making all of this money from all of these people and selling all of their products, and yet intermingled with their teachings, which might actually be true, is their energetic cords, which takes away from the purity and the divinity of the words that they're teaching, speaking, selling, preaching. And what a shame it is because it's not meant to be this way. But of course, we're here. This is our life, right? We're here to learn how to do these things. And just because, I'm saying, I'm so good at this and so good at that, doesn't necessarily mean that there's nothing left for me to learn. Just the other night, I've been meeting some amazing people. So I got to tell you guys this story. So I'm out at Ecstatic Dance. I live in Sedona, Arizona, if you don't know that. And in Sedona here, we have Ecstatic Dance a couple nights, couple days, couple afternoons a week, depending on the week and depending on the weather. And so there will be groups of people that come together, and it's the most beautiful, beautiful thing. Because you will see that the energy that is present is felt by all. And I met this man there the other day. His name's Dana. What a wonderful man. And if you didn't know any better, you might think he was crazy. And I'm sure a lot of people do. But thankfully, I know the divine so well that when I was hearing the words that were coming out of his mouth, I actually could understand what it was that he was saying, even though he wasn't speaking in English terms. This man was speaking light language, in between English and in between light language, and he was telling me things. And through our beautiful interaction, I saw that he had these negative entities that were attached to him, and through whatever light language I was speaking, I cast them out. And I could see that there was this moment where they started to kind of get a little bit agitated and were almost ready to resist. And then the energy shifted and there was no holding back because even they remembered the love. Even they remembered the love. So I need you guys to understand this and to know this, that there is these entities out here And they can be such low vibe, and they can take people over, and they can cause addictions, and they can cause all kinds of hate and trauma and resentment and horrible things in this world. But even they too will go to the light when they remember it. Even they too, because it's where they came from. It's where they originated from. And after this experience, which was probably about an hour long, but that was only about 30 seconds of it, he said to me, "Oh, you know, you've seen it. And I know exactly what he was going to say. He almost didn't let it happen, but then he remembered." And as soon as that shifted, man, there was wonderful things that this man told me, and he told me something about myself that I didn't know, that I wasn't aware of. And he said, you know, when your energy is like it is, everybody gets wrapped up in it. They can't actually help themselves. And he pointed out to me that I need to make some type of concession or some type of something so that people have a choice, because they didn't have a choice. This is like, sometimes I remember going to my friend's house, and he said, "Oh, can you come over here? I got a sore elbow. I need you to come and help me." And so I showed up at his house, and I was like, "Well, how's it, feel right now? Like, what's it at?" And he said, "Well, it doesn't hurt at all because you're here." And I didn't understand at that time that when we are fully embodied in something, that the universe, the environment around us has to bend to the will of that energy. Has to bend to the will of that. And so because I knew and didn't believe in this, sore illness, pain, didn't accept it, it's not allowed to be in my world. It was no longer in their world while they were in my presence. And so I understood when I was at this ecstatic dance, because he pointed it out to me, and I didn't know this before, that not everybody learns in this way. Not everybody's supposed to learn in this way, and that you have to give people free will. And first of all, I didn't realize exactly what it was that I was doing, and that it could be controlled. And so now I understand, and so now I will make a concession for that. People who want to be in it will be in it, and those who don't, why, they will be blind to the fact that I am even present. Now I come home, and I'm in my house, and I hear that there's a bird outside, and I'm thinking, okay, well, this bird is here for me because it's making a lot of noise right outside my bedroom. And often, I will see them as signs, and they'll tell me things. And so I was like, oh, I better go outside. So I go outside the front door, and I hear it, and it's squawking its brains out, but I can't see it. And I said, well, show me you, like, if you're here for me, show me you. And then it didn't, it had been maybe 10 seconds, and I said, okay, well, I guess you're not here for me then. And I turned around to walk in the house, and this bird flew out and flew right in front of me and landed in the tree right next to me. And at that moment, I felt it. I could feel that shift of, oh, I guess you're not here for me. And I could feel the energy of how potent and how piercing that energy was. And so when I turned around to go in the house, then all of a sudden it comes out to show itself to me right after I had spoken this. And I could feel the energy in the air. I live in Sedona, but I could feel the potency of it. And in this moment, I knew how it is that we command the energy that's all around us, that's within us, and the environment outside of ourselves. And that when we do it with potency, there is nothing that it won't affect. Now, I often sit outside in my backyard, because it's beautiful here, and I will hold ceremony for myself, and I might be out there meditating for a hot minute, like a long time. And so as I will be sitting out there, sometimes tones or sounds or just things will flow through me. It might be movements through my body. It might be a song or a sound coming out of my voice. But this is not something that I am consciously deciding, oh, I'm going to sing this tone, oh, I'm going to do this. I just sit there and I surrender to spirit, and whatever comes through, comes through. And so this man that I met the other night, I tell you, Dana, he said to me, and this is the first time that I'm meeting him, and he said to me, when you sing, does the wind come? And I said, it does every time, because I have wind chimes out there. And as soon as I start doing anything, they will start going off. And if I start singing louder, they're going to get louder. They will assist me. It is like I have a chorus of angels around me that compliment me so perfectly. And Dana says to me, he said, that's me. I'm the wind. And I have never experienced a person, it was like I was talking to myself. I have never experienced something like this, that he would be on the opposite side of the city as me. But we realize, obviously, that there's no disconnect. That energy is energy. This is why when I'll do sessions with people across the world, it's no different than them sitting here in my office. Doesn't make a difference, because energy is where it's directed. And so through this meeting of this man, not only did I learn so many things, but I'll tell you the number one thing that I learned. That when you embody what it is that you are, it's visible to those that also do it. They can see it. And there is no denying it. They can see it because they're experiencing it and because they're feeling it. And when you don't, that is obvious to all. Because there is a different frequency contained within the truth than there is within a set of words. Now, my real good friend, he grew up in the Mormon church. And he was telling me a story this morning. And he said, when I was in church, we had to sit there and we had to listen to all these people come up and talk. And there was all these people, and it was days and days of talking. And he said, I had done it for so many years that I would know what they were going to talk about, because they never changed it up. They just always said the same thing. And he's like, even as a little kid, I didn't understand. Don't they know? They're just saying the same things over and over and over again. But yet his mom wouldn't let him color in church. He had to sit there and take notes, pay attention. And so he said he started writing out what they were going to say before they even said it, and he'd slide it to his mom. And she said, well, no, you have to pay attention. He said, but I already know what they're going to say. And when she opened up the paper and read what he had on there and realized he was exactly right, then he was now allowed to color. But this conversation that we were having, do you know, maybe you've experienced that before, because I remember that when I would go to church when I was a little kid. There's no life in the church anymore. There's no life in the spiritual words that they're speaking, because they're not spiritual words. They're just words that are empty of all life. And where there is true life, it is truly felt. It's like having a fake plant. And you see this fake plant, you think, oh, that's real nice. Oh, look how nice that is. Oh, it's so nice. Look, oh. And then you realize one day, oh, that plant's not even real. Oh, interesting. And here's the thing about fake plants. They don't grow. There's no growth. Zero. None. And you'll just see the same thing year after year after year after year. Sure, maybe it's beautiful. What a beautiful plant. But there's no growth that is there, because there's no life that is there. Whereas you may see something and it starts out as a little twig, and I don't even want to listen to that thing. I have no interest in that. But yet that little twig is going to grow up someday, and it's going to continue to grow because it is filled with life. Abundant life. And when we can too be filled with life, then what we're going to do is we're going to emit that life to the people that we come into contact with. Now, I understand that sometimes I come across on here and I sound a little bit harsh or a little bit preachy. I know, because I'll listen to it back and I'll be like, dang it, why do I sound so preachy? I don't want to sound this way. But when I get to talking, it's like I can't stop it from that passion coming through, because there's just a better, more beautiful way for us to be doing things here. And we can talk about it all day long, but if we don't act on it and if we don't embody it, then what are we even doing? What is the point? We say, oh, I don't like gossip. Oh, I don't want to gossip, but yet we gossip. And why do we do it? Because we allow ourselves to be around other people who do it. And why do we allow this? Why are we putting up with this? If we want to embody what it is that we are talking about, then we are going to have to cut some cords. And we can't just talk about it. We can't just think, oh, that's a nice idea. We actually have to take action, and we actually have to do it. And the thing about that is it's scary, right? Because it's different. I'm going through a transition right now in my life, and I don't know exactly where it's going to end up. I just don't know. But the divine gave me very specific instructions and said, you need to do this. And so I did it. And when the divine tells me to do something, I listen. And this is the first time in my life that I took a hot minute to listen because I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I was like, no. I don't want to do that. I want things to continue just like they are, and I don't want to do that. And the divine said, no, I know, but you have to. And as much as I pleaded, and as much as I didn't want to do what I was asked to do, I finally did. And I still don't have a clear understanding about the why, because often we don't get that until far on the other side. We don't get it until we learn the lesson. We don't get it until it's time for us to get it. And then we will look back and we will say, oh, that's why. I see. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy when we're in the middle of it. It doesn't mean that it's going to be fun when we're in the middle of it. But when we know, because we're so faithful, that everything that we've ever been asked to do has been miraculous and wonderful and so wonderful, we just have to keep this in mind when we're asked to do something. So what have you been asked to do and you're not doing it? This is the difference between the knowledge and the wisdom that you have and actually embodying it. What is it? Because you know, if you're listening here, then there is something that you needed to cut out. There is some action that you needed to take, and you haven't taken it, or you haven't cut it out. And you know it. And the difference between doing it and not doing it is night and day. It's the difference between transformation in a certain area of your life, or perhaps your entire life. It's a difference between going down this road on the right or going down that road on the left. It's a complete and total difference, but we don't do these things because we think we can't. Some of us think, oh, we're too weak. No. I've been told I needed to quit this bad habit a hot minute ago, and I just haven't been able to do it. I just can't do it. It's because your mindset is too weak, and it's because you don't see that if you really did that thing, everything would change. Because by doing that thing, by cutting that thing out, you're taking your power back. So you currently are giving your power to a thing or to a person or to a something. You're giving it. And the difference between stopping that thing and cutting it out and letting it go or doing whatever you were told or you know that you're supposed to be doing that you're not doing, this is a game changer. The difference between doing it and not doing it is regret. And what a horrible thing to have would be regret. Now I look back and I was asked to do something a long time ago, and I didn't listen. And then I stumbled across something on YouTube because, of course, the divine's going to talk to me in every way, and I just love YouTube. And it said that delay is also disobedience. And so I understood I have been delaying and that this was disobedience. And I always knew, oh, of course I'm going to do it, divine. You just got to give me some time to wrap my head around this, and perhaps you'll change your mind. And then, you know what, but I will do it because I always listen. But you know what, just it's going to be a minute. And so I understood that I was being disobedient, and therefore I was having consequences to that. There's consequences to the disobedience. And it's different for every single person, for every single human that's here. We all have different consequences. Oh, we didn't listen. Okay, now this is what's happening. Oh, we didn't listen. Okay, now this is what's happening. Oh, you're not listening. Now everything is going to dry up and you're going to have nothing. And it's going to get really uncomfortable for you. Really uncomfortable for you. Because when that doesn't happen, then we're just comfortable. We don't got to do anything. We don't got to change nothing. We don't got to do the thing because everything is cool, man. No, I'm fine like this. It's good. But it's not good. Because when the divine asks us to do something, it's because we're supposed to do it. It's because there's going to be good and wonderful, miraculous things that come back around here because we've been obedient. And so is there something in your life that you feel like you haven't done? This is the difference. This is the difference between knowing something, reading it in a book. Oh, I know that's true. I know it's true. And embodying it and doing it. When you know that something is good for you, you have the information, you have the knowledge. Oh, I know that'd be good for me. I know I need to do that. Yeah. I'll tell everybody about it. I'll tell them they should do it too. But I just don't have the will within me to do it for myself. And when we believe in this way, and when we behave in this way, nothing's going to change. The gifts that are waiting on the other side of that thing that the divine's been asking you to do for a while, they're still waiting on the other side of that thing because you haven't done it. There will be people that will go to the end of their life. They will be 90s, 100 plus. And they will have all kinds of regrets. And I guarantee you that the regrets that they have are because they didn't listen. And they knew. Because how many times could you say, and I can say this every single time, and I was just talking to somebody else about it today, is that you could have avoided so many things because you knew, but you talked yourself out of it. Right? That person that ended up, betraying you, or that situation or this or that, you knew. Some part of you knew, but you didn't want to believe it, and so you didn't. And you didn't listen. And you talked yourself out of it. When this was actually divine guidance, this was divine protection that was telling you these things, but we weren't listening because we think, oh no, I'm just a human. I don't know nothing. Yeah, no, there's just thoughts I'm having in my head. No, I just don't know. And we've given our power away so much so that we don't have it anymore. Because we've given it all away. We give it away to what people think. We give it away to situations, to jobs that we don't like. We've given it away. We just give it. We give it. We give it. We give our life away. We give our life away. And why? Why are we giving our life away? We are meant to keep this energy. We are meant to embody the knowledge and the wisdom and the Christ consciousness. We are meant to embody this like it's supposed to be living inside of our body. And what happens when it lives inside of our body is that you feel it. The things around you change. You can literally change your environment. The people around you, the people you come into contact with, all of a sudden they come in your energy field. Maybe they were in a bad mood and they might have chewed somebody else out, but they ain't doing that to you, man. Not happening to you, because that's not allowed to be in your energy field, because you embody the opposite of that. And so anyone who comes in, sorry, but you're going to get caught up in the wave. You can't avoid it. When you come into the energy field, this is just how it is in here. Now, I know that you know what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about this times a million. But when you walk into a party, you walk into a school, into wherever you walk into, you can feel the vibe, right? If something just went down, you're feeling it, right? What you're feeling is the energy that is in the room. So what does your energy feel like when you are embodied in all of the knowledge and all of the wisdom that you have? Well, it feels very different, right? People want to just be in proximity to you because even sitting next to you, they're still in that energy, just like when you walk into a building and you feel that energy, right? They, being in your presence, are feeling this energy, and they're actually learning through this. Their energy is understanding, figuring out and learning, hey, what's going on here? This feels a little different than what I have going on in here. And so when we can embody these things, we're doing it for everyone. We're doing it for everyone. So I've been having these visions and I've been seeing, there's a lot of people, maybe this is you guys, that are earth travelers, right? That you came here to go and travel around the earth and go to these different locations because you are gaining something from these places and you are leaving something in these places. And so a lot of what I've been seeing is, us perhaps traveling back to places that we've lived, that we've had past lives, which we all have, and we've had so many of them, endless, that when we go to these certain locations, there's this divine remembrance that comes back online. So I'll give you an example. My friend, he super high vibe man, he left, went on a trip. I can't remember where he went, but when he came back, I think it was Egypt. When he came back, I could feel it. I could feel the change in his energy. It was higher vibe than it was when he had left. And he's the highest vibe guy that I knew up until this point. And I could feel it in his energy just from going to these locations, being with intentional groups of people who are supposed to be there, and then embodying that wisdom back. So he said he got back from his trip and slept for a couple days and embodied all of these things, and that he felt himself, he could feel that he felt different. I know Joe Dispenza talks about, it's almost like we reparticle ourselves, right? Because that's all that we are, right? And the difference between a hair cell and a skin cell is the intelligent work that it does. There is no difference between our cells except for the job, the work that they're doing. And so we really are reparticling our entire self when we have a shift, when something changes, when we start to embody something. But the difference between knowing something, speaking about it, and embodying it is the action that we take. So when we read the Christ letters and it tells us, hey, we can't have resentment, and we think, okay, yeah, cool, I won't have resentment. But then we continue to have resentment when we were asked not to. We have not embodied our knowledge. We have it, our words, our mouth will maybe tell somebody else, hey, this is how it should be. But our energy isn't telling them that. They're only hearing it with their brain and their mind. They're not experiencing what that would be like. Whereas if you tell someone, yeah, we can't have any kind of resentment towards anybody, we can't at all, because all of these things were blessings and they were actually for our benefit and for our learning, to help us to evolve and to help us to level up and to help us to learn to love even more. And when we can tell somebody this and we're fully actually embodied in it, even if it's just for that moment, they will not have resentment towards anybody else either. And so then this is a different kind of learning that happens, because it's not just a learned, I'm hearing this, it's an experience that they are experiencing. And so now they know what to work for. Oh, okay, no, I fully understand this. And they could even choose, while they're in the presence of an embodied one, to let that go. And a lot of what we need to do is about time, right? We think that we don't have the time. Well, we took the time to read the words and to gain the knowledge. But if we don't take the time to then process it and then to understand it and then to integrate it into our body, into our life, then there was no point in even knowing the words. There was no point in even taking the time to do that. But I know that that's nobody's intention, right? When you go in to read it, you're doing it because you're trying to gain something. You're trying to better yourself. But this takes time. And so it is truly, it's baby steps that we can take. We can take these little steps daily of, okay, this is what I'm going to work on. I remember, coming from a small town and everybody there gossips, everybody, not everybody. I'm thinking of one lady and she is just a blessed soul and she doesn't talk bad about nobody, but everybody else. and the the problem is that when we have this information and we have this knowledge and we know, oh, I don't want to behave in this way, we can't do these things, this is not Christ-like, this is not what I want. But then we get around people who are embodying that old way. Like I said, you walk into the building, you feel the vibe, you are still absorbing that energy. And so you will find yourself so very quickly wrapped up in it. Why? Because the old programs start to play of, oh, I don't want to be left out. Oh, that would be weird. If I didn't talk bad, they're going to talk bad about me, And all of this stuff comes around and comes about, and you begin to understand the cycle of how things work. And you begin to understand that you have to remove yourself from that cycle. It's the only option, is to remove yourself from the cycle, which is why most people who are, these spiritual beings who have these profound experiences, actually every single one that I know, have gone on extended periods of being secluded, of being alone. Because when we are constantly bombarded by other people's energy, we don't even know what our own is. We don't even know what our own is. Then, okay, we'll go and we'll take some time on our own. Maybe we'll then begin to understand deeply, like, oh, wow, yeah, I got some stuff I got to work on here, which is wonderful. That's all we need, is the awareness of, oh, I got some stuff to work on here, and the desire to do it. Because then when we have that desire to do it, well, then let's take some concentrated amounts of time and go in and do the hard work. And it will feel endless, my friends. It will feel endless. I'm telling you, from the time that I started, work on myself to when the pure divine illumination came through, it was a long time. I'm going to say 10 years. And my whole life I had been spiritual. My whole life I had been seeking and pursuing and interested in all this stuff. But from the time that I started doing the work, because I didn't even know what the work was, I didn't even understand it. And when I began to understand the power of hypnotherapy, the power of hypnosis, which is why I made that mental cleanse series, which is also now available on Medicine Garden, medicinegarden.tv. And when I understood the power of this and had the tools so that I could actually start working and healing the inner self, just even from this lifetime. But man, we got a lot of work to do. We got to heal this lifetime, and then we got to go back and we got to grab things from the other lifetime. There's so many layers that go to this. But from the time I started working, it was constant. I used to go, I would tell my kids, hey, we'd be out jumping on the trampoline. Cool, let's have some fun. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, guys, I got to go meditate. And I didn't not do it. I would go in and I would lay in my bed and I would do hypnotherapy on myself. I would take whatever emotion was present, whatever I was feeling, and I would follow it back. I would find where it was coming from. I would work, I would release it, I would heal it, and then I would have been free from that. And then I did it again the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, on and 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 on. And I will still do it if something comes up. If there's something that's upsetting, if there's something that's come into my world and I need to do it, I'm on it. I will do it. I'm telling you, it takes a lot of work, but the rewards that come from it are so worth it, are so worth it, are so worth it. People will chase money. They will chase after it and they will chase after it and they will have billions of dollars, and yet you will still see they are not satisfied. They want more. They thought that would bring fulfillment, and it never came. And I am telling you, we seek for it in places where it is not. The only place where we will gain fulfillment is truly from our connection with the divine. It is the only thing that will satiate us. Because what do we need? Oh, maybe in clothes. Well, we always need more and more and more and more. And in money, oh, well, we need more and more. When is enough? Enough. It's never enough because it didn't bring us fulfillment. If it brought us fulfillment, then the first 100 million would have given us the fulfillment. We wouldn't need another 900 million to realize that that's not the thing. But we keep seeking after these things and we keep hiding from ourselves. And we don't even realize that we're wasting our life and that our time is so precious. and that the energy that we command around us commands our life, and therefore we can change it at any given moment, and it will change. But we have to embody it, because whatever it is that you're currently embodying, that's what you're experiencing in your life. Whatever it is. So whatever beliefs it is that you embody, whatever it is that you hold within yourself, that is what you're experiencing in your life. And if we want to change that, we have to change it. Awakening isn't proven by what you know. It's proven by how you live. Because truth that is not embodied eventually becomes just spiritual entertainment. Wisdom is information that is integrated through lived experience. And so when we want embodiment to come fully online, then we need to take that wisdom and that information and those divine hits and that guidance that we get, and we need to follow through and do what we're being asked, do what we know, do what we're being told. So many people understand how consciousness works. They get it, but they still repeat the same patterns because it is unintegrated truth that they hold within them. They know. Oh, I know all about electromagnetism. I know what I put out. I know it comes back to me. I know that this person just did this, and I know it's because of what I did. Why do we continue to do these patterns? The gap between knowing and being is where most people stay stuck. And we do it because it's uncomfortable to change. It's uncomfortable. We're going to have to let go of some people. We're going to have to stop doing some things. We're going to have to start doing some other things. We're going to have to clean mental house. We're going to have to heal those things in the past that we pretend don't bother us, but they bother us a whole lot, and they're ruling our whole life, and we don't even know it. It is so important, if you are on the spiritual path, that you go into your subconscious mind and you see what's in there. And you examine it, because if not, it will rule your life and you won't even know what's happening. You'll think, well, no, I don't think that. I think this, I'm pretty this way or that way. But if you actually go in, this is the neat part, when I'm working with people and we'll ask questions beforehand. I work a lot with numbers of like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you say that you are about this or about that or whatever it is? And they'll give me their numbers and it's like, okay, cool, sweet. Then we go into a session and then we check, and I'll ask them the numbers again once we get in deep into the subconscious, and it's different. It's different because our subconscious mind hides things. It does. Our conscious mind sometimes can blow things out of proportion and say, oh, my depression's all the way up at a 10, when really subconsciously, no, I'm just at a 7. No, I'm just at a 7. Or the opposite. Or no, I think I'm at a 7, but yet the depression is debilitating and we just don't want to speak it, or whatever it happens to be. But the subconscious and the conscious mind often don't line up, even though it's the same person answering. You're the one answering, and consciously you believe this and subconsciously you believe that. And so there's a lot of hidden and stored wisdom and knowledge and information in our subconscious mind, but there's a lot of beliefs in there too that are harming and that are hurting us and that are keeping us from being able to embody what it is that we want. If we're trying to quit some bad habit, well, it's not just about quitting it and sticking to it for 21 days and getting over the thing. No, it's about understanding why we got that bad habit in the first place. Are we trying to subconsciously kill ourselves? Do we hate ourselves? Do we believe that we shouldn't even be here? Do we think that we're not worthy or that we're not valuable or important or something like this? Because if that's housed within the subconscious mind, even though you consciously maybe don't think that, or you wouldn't say that, but if it's stored in there from somewhere, from you being younger, your inner child thinks that about themselves, then sorry, man, but it still occurs today. You're still going to believe that subconsciously about yourself, and therefore it's going to play out in your world and in your environment. The patterns that we experience in our life are all dictated from the things that we believe in, from those limiting belief patterns, which is why very often, right, if you grow up poor, well, you're going to grow up and old and be poor. because you believed certain things. You heard your parents say certain things. You were in that energy of we're poor and we're struggling. And so that permeated your whole body, and you don't know how to shake it because you don't know any other way. Well, what has to happen is you have to heal those beliefs and those things about yourself of thinking, well, no, other people, they can have that, but I can't. And it's because of this and it's because of that. We have to get rid of all the excuses and all the reasons and every single thing that is attached to why we're still in that, it was still poor, and understand that it's an energy. Well, what does that feel like to have more? What does that feel like to not need anything, not even care, because you just know that you're going to be provided for and taken care of? Well, what is that like? Well, let's step into somebody else's body. If you wouldn't know what that's like, let's just pretend that we're somebody else and let's step into that and try that on and see what that would feel like. Oh, it feels a little different. Okay. Now, what steps need to be taken to embody this so that this is an all-the-time thing? It's a practice. This is like anything else. This is why meditation, why the time is so important, why that meditation time is so valuable, because this is a time for you to embody these things. It's a time for a certain awarenesses to come in and float into your energetic field so that you can become aware of this kind of stuff. And then it's a time to practice and to embody these things. And to always ask the divine for assistance, because you'll get it. When you ask, when you seek, you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. But lots of us are like, and they haven't opened their door. It's like, well, did you knock? Well, I didn't knock yet. No, I'm kind of afraid to knock. And some of us, we just don't. We don't take the steps that we need to do. If you want to get let in the house, well, you got to knock on the door. And so sometimes we forget. Oh, I forgot. I thought I could just will it to open up just by reading this book or just by doing this or by doing that. But no, we have to take the action. And so my message to you today is, if there is something that the divine has been telling you, you need to do, that it is disobedience when you're delaying. And I'm telling you from my own words, from my own experience. I know, man, I've been there 100%. I was like, we're not doing this. I'm going to talk you out of it. Divine, we'll see. This will be the first time that I win and that I get my way. And the divine's like, yeah. Okay, yeah. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. And this is the message I have for you guys. Whatever it is that you need to cut, whether it's a job or a thing or a person or a habit or whatever it is, cut it. Do it today. Do it right now. Don't delay. Don't delay 1 minute longer. Just do it. Or if there's some action that you were supposed to take, you need to make that phone call. Oh, you need to whatever. I've been thinking about this for like a month and a half. I need to reach out to this person. They keep coming to my mind. Whatever it happens to be. Do it, and do it right now. Do it right now. And you'll come up with an excuse like, yeah, but I'm listening to this at 11 o'clock at night. I can't do it. Do it right now. Do it right now. Write yourself a note. And first thing in the morning, if it's not possible, you got to call that place and they're closed and it's 11 at night. Okay, well, you're setting your alarm and you're waking up at 8. Why? Because you told yourself you were going to do it, and you're not going to be disobedient for another moment longer, because you know that the divine only wants good and wonderful things for you. And therefore, whatever the divine is asking you for is going to lead to something even better than what you could possibly even fathom or imagine. And so we just have to take this action. And this is the first step from the knowledge, from the wisdom of, I know I got to do the thing, to embodiment. This is the first step. And so you can take it right now in this very second. And I love you guys so very much. Thank you so much. If you guys want to hang out, I have my Spiritual Circle Sunday. And you can join in and you can get a reading. You can see what I do is I tune into your energy. I'm going to see it. And I'm going to tell you what's coming through. And then more than likely, I will channel some type of parable or some type of, I don't know what it'll be, something that'll come through, and it will be powerful and it will be meaningful to all who attend. And you can get a link for that through my website. And it's also another great way to meet wonderful, beautiful, divine beings, because everyone who just shows up there is just Such a precious gift from the divine. I love you all so very much. Thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry if this was harsh or if I felt like I was yelling at you. I really didn't mean to. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you. Take care. Go check out the medicinegarden.tv, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.